Steel yourselves, true believers, for there is a dastardly new menace making the rounds at Marvel. Someone who is so powerful and devious that they can challenge classic teams like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Who is this diabolical new monster? Marvel Studios.
This is Tex Rockwolf. Leave your name and number and I'll get back to you.
Hi, Mr. Rockwolf. It's me, Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm-Filling Tube Man Emporium. I'm just calling to confirm the order you sent me for 1,000 Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm-Filling Tube Men. Call me back as soon as you get the...
Welcome to the Rockwolf Files. You know, like the Rockford Files? The hit detective series that ran on NBC from 1974 to 1980? No? That's fine, you guys. I'm your host, Tex Rockwolf, and sure, I may have been cribbing a little bit from Stan the Man with that hyperbolic introduction, but while I was examining the Marvel Universe, both comic and cinematic, I was able to see how some decisions from one were affecting the other. Of course, all I had to do was put on my hat of detecting, and all the puzzle pieces came together. First of all, can we all agree that there's a conflict of primacy? While the comics are certainly the genesis of the characters and story arcs we've come to know and love, it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe that is the breadwinner of the Marvel family now. It's a story we've known for years. The comics industry is shaky at best, whose heyday is long past. Marvel Comics will never be more profitable than the movies, in terms of upfront revenue, or as a vehicle to drive the mighty Marvel merchandise machine. And just so we can avoid the accusation, I've personally always made mine Marvel, so let's just stifle the DC fanboy talk, okay? Stifle! Don't get me wrong, I hope the comics never go away, but we're being practical here. So if that's where the money is being made, it only makes sense to tailor the comics to fit more closely with the movies. Hence why we're looking down the barrel of a universal reboot here in the summertime with the new Secret Wars. But it seems Marvel might be going too far. Let's look at the facts.
In October of 2014, it was announced that Marvel would end the Fantastic Four comic.
This is kind of a big deal, guys. The book was being published in one form or another for over 50 years. They're a major Marvel team, and they just got the pink slip, just like that. Isn't it interesting that in 2015, Fox Studios, who owns the movie rights to the team, is bringing us a new version which will enforce their rights for years to come? It would seem that Marvel isn't interested in playing ball anymore. After all, why should Marvel keep publishing stories about a team of heroes that they can't fully profit from? Unconvinced? Yeah, me neither. Frankly, the Fantastic Four comic book has always struggled to find a modern audience. Theoretically, it was inevitable that they were going to cancel it, but on the other hand, Fox does also own that stalwart stable of mighty mutants, the X-Men. And in fact, they even own the concept of mutants and of mutant heroes in terms of filmmaking. Maybe that's why, according to Chris Claremont, and seriously, if we can't trust Chris Claremont on issues of the X-Men, then seriously, who can you trust? That's why, according to Chris Claremont, the team in charge of the X-Men comics aren't allowed to create new mutant characters because they would immediately become the film property of Fox, and Marvel be like, fuck that! Furthermore, have you heard of the Inhumans? Well, if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or pay attention to Marvel press conferences, you have. The Inhumans are a long-neglected race of super people in the Marvel Universe, and while the X-Men have been taking a backseat in terms of new creations, killing off Professor X, again, and the story arcs that serve as character assassinations, the Inhumans have been more and more emphasized in the comics, including a prominent presence in several major arcs like Infinity and Inhumanity, and of course they also have a new movie coming out in 2018. And wouldn't you know it, Marvel still owns the movie rights to these guys. Huh, I wouldn't have thought that. What a surprise. Then of course there's the Big Daddy, the flagship, the biggest character in Marvel Comics, Spider-Man, who is now a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, great. Well, thanks a lot, Sony. You know, I've been demanding that you release this character for years, and you go ahead and pick the 1 week I'm making a video where that's a relevant piece of information, and you decide then that's the perfect time to let him go and play with the other heroes. Great job. I almost had a trifecta. Fuck it, I'll do it anyway. Even if Spider-Man is going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's still clear that not all was or is right in Spider-Town, USA. It started with a slow accumulation of Spider-Men, including only the ones that are still around in the regular Marvel Universe. There's Parker. Then there's also Venom, who's just Spider-Man crossed with Punisher. Think about it. Then there's the Scarlet Spider and Spider-Woman. And then there's Silk, who is somehow not Spider-Woman. And right now they're just wrapping up the Spider-Verse storyline, where we got, arguably, too many Spider-Men. There's regular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, 1602 Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir, Peter Porker, the Amazing Spider-Ham, Punk Rock Spider-Man, Spider-Man, the Electric Company Spider-Man. They're all here, baby! And way too many more Spider-Men than I care to list here. Suffice to say, I'm Spider-burned out. But I posit that that was part of the plan all along. Dilute the Spider-Man brand in order to devalue it to the point that Sony would come back to the bargaining table, which it has. Ha! 3 for 3! So, is Marvel torpedoing the brands that they don't own the film rights to anymore? Or are they just clearing the deck in anticipation of the reboot that's coming this summer? Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked what you saw here, don't forget to click like and subscribe. And of course, you might want to click over on my monitor here to find out what the titular Jake of this channel's name is up to over on his new solo series, VHXS. And of course, once you're finished with all that, go on over to peanutbutterdisaster.com. It's a wonderful website, a nice community of reviewers who are putting all kinds of quality content out there. I know you'll love it.
Peanut butter disaster.